What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode here with the Cash Protocol. My name is Sim, and my buddy here is Hi JP. And today's episode is actually going to be really, really interesting. We're very excited about this. Um, so, as you guys know, there's a lot of good deals right now, especially going back to school deals that are out there for gaming PCs and laptops. Component prices have been going down dramatically over the past few months. So, buying a pre-built gaming PC right now is of good value, or at least we think it is on some of the websites. So, for this episode, we decided to see whether it is worth it to purchase a pre built gaming PC or to just build one yourself for the same amount of money that you're going to spend anyway. We chose Best Buy as our measuring stick. We chose three different price levels. One that's up to $500, $1,000, and $1,500. However, we did include $100 buffer, meaning that we can go over that price by no more than $100. In addition, the price of the operating system will not be calculated into the price of the PC, but we did include it in the build anyway. So if you do see that the prices are more than what they should be, you subtract $100, and then that is the price of the OS, because most of the time people have a hard drive and they might be putting that hard drive into their new PC and it's going to have Windows on it, so you might not need to buy a new copy of
Oh
Windows.
yeah.
So, JP, what's going on, buddy? Are you ready for this?
Oh, I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm just waiting for my space here where I could jump in.
All right. So, should obviously we both used PC Part Picker, and
Yes.
we did not look at any at each other's
He built
lists.
his, I built mine. I haven't seen his, he hasn't seen mine.
Yep.
So let me switch over here. What you're gonna see on the screen is the Best Buy 499 computer,
Yeah.
which
Let's just go over it. Let's just go
yeah.
over that one.
So looks like they have a AMD Ryzen 3 base model
It's
processor
by
for
I
AMD.
by Power, by the way.
I buy power.
Yep.
8 gigs of memory. So again, low memory count. GeForce GT 710. I don't even. I'm not gonna lie. I don't even know the specs on the video card.
Can you
Um,
make that screen bigger of the side view? Let's just take a look at what's inside of that thing. Okay. I
so
mean,
it's a micro ATX board, as you can see. It's one stick of memory. You could tell the graphics card is very low powered.
it's a
It doesn't.
GTX 710.
Yeah, it doesn't even require its own power cables. I like how all the cables are concealed. It's a clean case. The airflow obviously is great. But let's go down here to. Looks like the video card is driven by 1 gig of dedicated video memory, so it is it's the lowest you can get when it comes to a graphics card these days. But again, it's $500. So what do you expect for $500? You know, you got to expect lower grade, lower quality, lower performance parts, right?
Well, I mean, also don't forget that they had to compensate for the additional $100 for the operating system. So,
Yeah.
if we're looking at the specs here, if you want to scroll down a little bit, for the specs we have, you get 1 terabyte of hard drive, and I'm assuming it's going to be a slower clock, 5400
72.
base. Oh, it's 7200.
Yep,
Wow, I didn't.
7200 mechanical drive.
Okay, well, at least you got that one going for you. We have one stick of 8 gigs of RAM clocked in at 2666. Again, I don't know if is it going to come 2666 out of the box, or is it going to,
No, it's
or
probably gonna be
it's
2400.
2400? Okay,
Yeah.
so it'll be okay, 2400. All right. And what else we got? We got the Ryzen 3. That's the third generation, so it's going to be it's a decent Ryzen. It's a really good
It's a newer
one.
version.
It's the newer
Newer model.
and but the GT 710, it's not even a 730. I mean, the 730, you
Listen,
still
I
can't
think
even game on.
Diablo 1 I think would have a rough time on it. That's what I'm saying.
I think playing YouTube would just take all the processing power of that card. But again, you're only spending $500,
500
and they
bucks.
are including the keyboard and the mouse. It is also important to mention that our builds do not include a mouse and keyboard,
No,
no peripherals, no
nothing.
monitors, no chairs, no nothing. It's just the towers and the components. All right. So,
So, also to note, because I know some of our systems are probably gonna have some sort of water cooling system, this is a air cooled system. So it's just
mhm.
a giant fan sitting on that processor that's keeping it cool. But again, nothing else crazy. Standard case. Yeah, it's a little glass panel on the side. Mouse, keyboard, like you said, Windows 10 comes with it. Standard Ethernet. Wi-Fi's built in. Okay. You might not want to use it. You might want to use it depending on what you're using the PC for. I'm assuming you're going to buy this for a gaming PC, even though it is low quality, but you don't really want to run gaming PCs off Wi-Fi, let's be real. So let's dig into our builds now. So we have a baseline. We go to Best Buy anywhere in the country, anywhere in the world, and pick up this $499 computer, as we'll call it. So first off, we will jump back to our PC part picker, go over to our save parts list, and we have mine, which is right here. So let's see, can I make this bigger? That's fine. We can see it. So I have the Ryzen 3, 3.5 gigahertz quad core processor. Very small price point on that. It's only $80 for the processor, which is crazy. So we also have the Deep Cool. Again, just a standard air cooled system, but it's going to have a lot better performance than what they give you on the iBuy power system. MSI board. I'm a fan of MSI motherboards. They make good quality boards. The resistors on them, the capacitors, all hold up strong for years to come. Now this is where we start getting into some differences. I chose to give it 16 gigs of memory instead of the 8. Okay, DDR 3000 compared to the 2666, potentially 2400 if that's what's going to be clocked at from the box. I downgraded the hard drive from a 1 terabyte mechanical drive, to a solid state 500 gig Evo. So the performance you're going to get from the solid state compared to that mechanical drive obviously is going to be a lot better. I went with a RX 570 video card. So a 4 gig card compared to the 1 gig standard card that they're giving you. Basic case, basic power supply, just enough. I mean, I think this one has or requires about 300 watts of power. I gave it a 500. And then you have our Windows 10 home. It puts us at a 614 price tag. Now, again, that is including the $100 of the operating system. So without that, you're looking at 514, right in that $500 mark. And I think it's a pretty well built system. I think it's an overall just a good low base gaming system. What do you think?
I think that you did a really good job actually on that, and I do like the Ryzen. I'm actually surprised that you went with a smaller, the Deep Cool, CPU
Yep.
cooler. I'm actually kind of surprised that you didn't go for liquid cooled, but
It's a
uh,
$500 system. I got to keep it.
I mean, again, so you went cheap on your cooling. The MSI B450 is a really really good choice for a budget motherboard here. You went with the 16 gigs, which is kind of shocking for a $500 build. That's not something that I would do personally,
Oh, we're going to find out what you did.
but but I do like that we were able to squeeze in 16 gigs of RAM. Your Evo 860, which should be enough, more than enough to handle any games. Your RX 570, good value at this point. I mean, you can't really get cheaper than that. The the case, it's actually, I was looking at the same case, but it looked too plasticky for me. But let's see here. What else do we have
Look at
here?
that. That's an amazing looking case for
Good.
$500,
I
you know?
mean,
Listen,
I don't know if it's gonna get broken on the way to your house, but
Listen, okay, when it comes down to it, you care about the parts inside the case.
all
That's
right.
like,
Well,
are you gonna buy a Porsche with like a Toyota Camry motor? No, you rather have the Toyota Camry outside and the Porsche engine inside. And with these specs right here, you got the Porsche. That's all I'm saying.
all
So
right. Well,
let's jump down to your system. All right,
I'd be more than happy
and
to.
you can run down your parts. So this is SimSim system, which he has built, and take it away.
So let's just also keep in mind that mine is cheaper right off the bat. So we both share the same. I'm gonna pull up JP's built here. I just saved the screenshot of it right now. So I'm just gonna put it side by side for me. You guys can't see that, but that's okay. So me and him, we share the same processor, the Ryzen 3 2200G. My CPU cooler is the Cooler Master Hyper 212 Black Edition, it's a really really good one actually. It's one of my favorite. It's the one that I started out with when I started building my own PCs. For the motherboard, I went with the ASRock B450. It's a micro ATX M4. I wanted to
Ooh,
get a small
that's
factor
small.
I wanted to get a small factor a motherboard because I didn't know how big the case was going to be. I didn't want to get a really big motherboard and then end up getting a smaller case. It'd be really tight. Cable management might not be ideal. For the memory, I went with one stick of
Ooh,
8
oh
gigs
God,
Team Vulcan DDR4
2400.
2400. And the reason why I went with that because I wanted to go higher on my graphics card.
Okay,
So
okay.
I figured that, if you're just starting to get yourself into PC gaming,
Mm-hmm.
you're not really going to care too much. I mean, 8 gigs of RAM is more than enough to handle anything at this point. It's going to be tight, but again,
It's gonna be tight.
your Ryzen 3 is a really decent, it's quad core processor. It's going to handle it. So you should be fine on that front.
Okay.
For solid state drive, I got inland 240 gigs of SSD, $30. Again, you're just starting most of the time. That kind of build be for somebody who's younger or just trying to get his feet wet in the PC gaming world. So to start out with the 240 gigs, your operating system is not going to take that much. Anyway, your programs won't take that much, so you should be able to get GTA 5 on there. You should be able to get what other games, racing games that we play. See the Skylines on there. You can get any game you want. You should be good to go. Now, for my video card, I went with the MSI Radeon RX 580, 8 gigs of DDR5, and that automatically obliterates JP's RX 74 gigs
Mm-hmm.
of video card. Now, he went really well. He did really well on the 16 gigs of RAM. He went really well on an extra 250 gigs of hard drive, but its graphics card is a mere 1050. You know, mine is a solid 1060. And we're talking about PlayStation 4 Pro. That was my thing, is that
Ah.
I wanted to see what can I get for a PlayStation 4 Pro performance or
Mm-hmm.
better.
Okay.
And the more equivalent to it was a GTX 1060, which is more expensive than the RX 580. The RX 580 was a little bit slower and lower frame rates and performance compared to the 1060 by between 5 to 10%. Not even actually. It was very comparable. If you go online and you look up RX 580 versus 1060, the performance is they're like neck to neck almost. So I figured RX 580, 8 gigs of DDR5 is more than enough to run any game you want in 1080p, maybe a few games in 4K, maybe like running 30 to 40 frames. But again, 1080p is more than enough, and it's much, much better quality than a PlayStation 4 Pro. For my case, I don't know if you want to click on it and open it up a little bit. It's going to be the Deep Cool Matrix 55 ATX mid tower case. It's a beautiful case. They don't have a lot of pictures for it, but it's really nice. It's mid tower. It's got a lot of vents on the side, acrylics and everything. Now you could put a lot of fans in the front. I don't think it comes with the fans, but again, you're gonna have a lot of room to put anything you want. And then what else we have here at the bottom? Seasonic 450 watt, 80 plus bronze certified ATX power supply for $35, and it's almost the same thing as JP's. Actually, JP's is better because his is the 580 plus bronze minus 450 80 plus bronze. So it's the same quality, but his is an extra 50 watts. Mine is not, and his is cheaper by $4. Mine is not. So
All right. All right.
overall,
So
overall,
let me.
subtract $100 from both build. Okay, mine would come down to 494.68, and his would come down to 514.70.
So
So
let me break this down for you real quick. Let me teach you a couple things. Okay. First of all right. Processor, we know the same. The cooler, I don't even care about. Whatever. The motherboard, perfect choice. ASRock, micro ATX. I'm not personally a fan of the tiny motherboards, but hey, budget build, I understand it. Now, the memory. You're gonna have some bottlenecks there with that 2400 8 gigs. You are. You're gonna have some bottlenecks. And as for the hard drive space, 240. Obviously, once you format it, you're only gonna be given about 200, maybe 26 gigs available. Windows installation for Windows 10 is about 20 to 25 gigs for the 64-bit version, which is what you have on this. So you're already down to around 200 gigs left. GTA is going to put you at about 60 gigs, which puts you down to 140, and then you're almost at the point where you're under the half mark for a solid state drive. Now, if you know this or not, but once you go under the half mark for a solid state drive, the performance actually decreases. So you're going to have to be careful on how much you load up that one solid state drive with. It's gonna affect your gameplay. The video card, obviously, excellent choice. MSI, 8 gigs. That's going to leave you for years. You're good to go on that. The case, awesome case. Power supply, again, it doesn't matter. 50 watts, good deal. And then the same operating system. But I think the bottlenecks are going to be that memory in the hard drive space. If you throw in a little secondary hard drive, which is cheap enough, that might help you out. I like the extra memory. Depending on what you're playing, you may need it, may not. But the 2400, I feel like, is just on the slower side. But to each their own, you know. It's we made some decent budget builds here. I think either one of these is better than the Best Buy option.
Oh, absolutely.
So if we go back to that real quick, I mean, they're 8 gigs of memory.
A GT 710. What, 710? What do you like? Plug in one monitor in the back and call it a day?
I've never even heard of that card. I'm not gonna lie.
My first card that I bought, or actually that I was introduced to, was the 750 Ti.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. Yep.
Ti. Yeah.
Familiar.
And that was 2 gigs.
Yeah.
Of DDR5, I think.
No,
I don't
not
know.
5. It's gonna be 3. I think it's 3.
3.
Yeah,
so
probably 3.
And it was an okay card. You played GTA on like low to medium settings, and that was it. But that's really not gonna. I mean, if the card doesn't even have its own power supply, I mean, it's not really worth putting it in. You're literally paying for a case, a monitor. You're literally paying for the keyboard.
Yeah.
You're paying for the mouse, and actually, we have done a mistake here. We shouldn't have put in the CPU cooler because Ryzen's come with their own coolers.
It does, but we want to.
I forgot about.
We wanted to upgrade it to get better performance. So that's the $500 build, guys. So you can make your decisions. Obviously, if you want our,
let us know in the comments which one.
Yeah, let us know in the comments which you would pick.
A better build.
Sims, mine. I don't think anyone's gonna pick the Best Buy one, but let's be real. So we're gonna jump over to the $1,000 build.
Yep. And again, we are using Best Buy as a measuring stick.
Yes. So we have this iBuyPower again. They're all iBuyPower because it's pretty much the only thing Best Buy sells for gaming PCs besides the CyberPower PC, which again, comparable specs. We just picked the iBuyPower to be consistent. So this has a Intel processor this time. It's the i5 9400. Again, a newer model. 8 gigs of memory. It does have the new RTX 2060. 1 terabyte hard drive. I'm assuming it's going to be a mechanical drive, and 120 gig SSD, which I'm assuming is for booting. So let's take a look at these specs down here. Hard drive provides ample storage. So it's a hard drive. Okay, so it's a 1 terabyte hard drive and then 120 gig solid state separate. Again, standard 8 gigs. It's a 2060 video card, which is 6 gigs compared to that other 1 gig card they had in the smaller system. If we jump down to the actual specs here, with a 2.9 gigahertz processor, 9th gen i5. So again, it's a newer one, 64-bit. Again, air-cooled ports, and everything else is 2666 megahertz of memory. So again, somewhat of a standard memory. It's probably the same stick they use in the $500 build.
Oh yeah, no, there's no doubt about it.
Yeah, it's so you got the wireless again, standard Ethernet, mouse, keyboard, blah blah blah. And yeah, I mean it's a $1,000 build. The main thing you're getting is the additional hard drive space, a better video card, a drastically better video card, and the i5 compared to that Ryzen 3, which again is a substantial difference. So what do you think about this one?
Well, I mean, I do like the new line of Intel i5s that just came out. So the
Hmm.
Coffee Lake, they're a major upgrade, especially with the increase in the core count, and in the overclockability. But again, you don't really need to over. I mean, we have really good processors. I'm not even overclocking it.
Yeah,
It's useless to me, at
this
least.
is a
I'm
six
not.
core too. 6 cores on
Yeah,
this i5.
six scores. The only thing that's probably hindering it, I mean, for $1,000 they should be able to throw in at least another stick of 8 gigs of RAM. It's not going to cost them that much.
Or make it
I
a
do.
faster Hertz. Put some
Well,
3200 in there or something.
well, you would still need to go into the BIOS and actually
Of course.
increase it.
Yep.
And if somebody doesn't know that, they're just buying it because of, they think it's better,
I
but
think
they don't
it's
know how to do it.
makes
Um,
sense.
I do like the two hard drive setup. Obviously, it's always a good thing to have two hard drives, one SSD for your operating system. In this case, they have the mechanical hard drive. I would assume for gaming and for documents and whatnot. The RTX 2060 is a great card, major upgrade. It's like a 1070, but a little bit faster,
Yep.
and it's. I like it. Again, you're not going to be using the motherboard for the Wi-Fi capabilities. You're always going to want to plug in your computer, hardwires into the wall to get the internet. So don't really care about the Wi-Fi capabilities. But as far as the processor goes, it's a great processor for the price point. Great card for the price point, and yeah, I mean, I think that you just plug and play on that one. Maybe the only thing that you would upgrade is just a memory.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think it's a really good deal.
It's not a
But
bad option.
it's not the best. It's not
No.
the best deal.
So
I
that
mean, if
turns
I if I
to
was to if I was to walk into Best Buy, I wouldn't be like drooling all over it to get this thing. You know, I'd
there,
be like, all right,
there
relax,
probably is.
relax,
There's probably people out there that do. That's
like, relax. All right.
so now we'll show you some of the builds that we did. So I'll start with mine. Here's my $1,000. So again, I stuck with the AMD this time. Ryzen 7 though, it's an 8-core processor. Obviously, you see the price there, 239. It's on the higher end. Cooler Master, we're talking about an actual liquid cooled system, not a air cooled system. So it's completely different. It's going to manage the heat a lot better than the air cooled. Again, the MSI B450 motherboard. I like the MSIs. They're good stuff. I again went with the 16 gigs of memory, 3200 G-Skill Trident Z. Adds also a little color to your case there. What's now? This is where I doubled up on the hard drives here. Just like the $1,000 system they have, I gave you a 500 gig M.2 NVMe solid state drive. Obviously, it was going to give you drastically more speed when you're processing. If you guys aren't familiar with it, it looks like a little tiny chip that literally plugs right into your motherboard. There's no cables to it. There's nothing. It's a chip right to the board. So the speed is 10 or 15 times faster than a regular drive. And then I added a secondary drive, another 500 gig, just regular mechanical drive for storage, just so you're not tying up that M.2 with all your OS stuff and your games. So you have a total of a terabyte of space on that computer. I went with the RTX 2060 6 gig card, very similar to what they were offering. I went with the Kruger mid case. Nice little panel on the side there. Has some plenty of vents for the top where you can mount that air cooler. And then to finish it off, we had the 600 watt Bronze Plus certified EVGA power supply, also semi-modular, so you don't have to use all the cables if you don't need to. And again, the Windows 10. So what do you think about that?
I like it. The only thing that I don't like is the your secondary hard drive, the Western Digital. I think that's kind of overpriced, maybe because it's the Black Series.
Now, I
Um,
will jump in there real quick. The
okay,
standard mechanical drive is about 3 gigs a second. This one, because it's the Black Edition, actually does 6 gigs a second on SATA. So that's why it's a little higher in price compared to another 500 gig mechanical drive.
gotcha. Okay, that's why I was gonna say it's a little bit overpriced for a 500 gig
Yeah.
mechanical. But again, if
You're
that's
doubling
the
the
kind of
speed.
speed, but then again, in that case, I would have just gotten what. Yeah, I mean, I would have just gotten a 500 gig SSD at that price point.
But that's a 500 gig SSD, like a standard Samsung one, is in the 80s. So you're doubling your price point there. It's $86. It's $86 for a 500 gig Samsung
Or
Evo.
or you could have, I mean, you could have gotten a 250 for $50
Yeah, I could have.
SS, SSD, and that would have been your OS, maybe a game or two, and then you could have just used your 500.
Yeah.
I mean, I like it. It just from that price point, if you're going to be buying a Black Series for a little bit faster speed, then might as well just bought an SSD. Maybe a little bit
Okay.
smaller capacity to teach you a thing or two. You know,
Okay.
that's
Oh yeah, I can't wait to see yours. All
all right.
right.
Just a reminder that we did not look at our list. This is the
No.
first time I'm seeing his list, and this is the first time he's seeing my list. So go ahead and get that $1,000
All right.
list of mine.
Let me just pull mine up also here so we can have them
Okay.
side by side.
Wow.
Sorry guys. Okay. So,
Again, we did not do this together. We did not work on this together. We did not discuss the components that we got, but the first two
oh my
are
god.
identical.
Wow. Okay. All
Are
right.
identical. All right. So we apparently we both think the same way to some sort. We both went with the same Ryzen 7 2700X. I mean, it's a great
It's
price
an
point. It's a
239 for an 8
eight,
core.
8 cores. My goodness, it's eight for 240
Oh,
bucks. Yes, I'm gonna get it, of course. And the Cooler Master Liquid, 240. I mean, that is a massive. I mean,
yeah.
I'm gonna open it up for you here. I mean, well, I can't show it to you, but
I
JP
will. I will click on it.
can go ahead and open. And it looks beautiful with the RGB lighting and whatnot. Oh my gosh, look at that! It's amazing. And it's Cooler Master. It's a reputable brand. We know it's going to be good. You're spending money on solid components that are going to last you, a couple of years before you need to upgrade. So, it's a really, really good cooler. For the motherboard, I went with the ASRock B450. It's the same one that I used the first time, and that's the thing that I love about AMD is continuity and consistency. It doesn't matter if it's a Ryzen 3, 5, or 7. It's the same board, and I
Yep.
love it. So I do like it from the same price point. Now it is cheaper than the 104 that JP spent on his motherboard, but it gets the job done. They're both 450s and they're both regular ATX motherboard. So there's no questions about it. For memory, I went with the Crucial Ballistic 16 gig 3200 memory. Same thing as JP, but mine is again cheaper
Yep.
by like a
I want
solid.
I want a little RGB. That's what I'm paying for. I'm paying for the light show.
I care about the Porsche inside of the Camry.
Okay,
I don't
let's
care about the.
let's continue.
All right. For the storage, I only have one hard drive, and again, you're not going to be downloading every game in your Steam account on your hard drive. So, a Western Digital Blue 500 gig M.2 NVMe solid state drive is going to be going into your motherboard.
Now
And you,
I do want to make a note
yes,
that the drive that you chose
uh-huh.
is not NVMe.
Yes, I am sorry. I kind of caught myself. I was
So
like,
it is a standard. Now I'll explain this to you because it is a standard solid state drive. You're not getting any speed increase by going to that M.2 compared to
yes,
where you see mine. You actually have an actual NVMe drive, and the
yes,
speed difference is drastic.
yes. Now, again, I didn't want to buy a larger hard drive. I wanted to get something that I can plug into my motherboard and kind of save space, especially with the case that I was going to get because I wanted to go big on the hard drive. I mean, on the video card. So,
And you did.
it's not an NVMe. It's a regular SSD. It just uses the M.2. Thank you for clarifying that. I just kind of like slipped on my mouth. Wasn't planned. Anyway, for the video card, mine again wins the battle against JP's card is the EVGA GeForce RTX 2060 Super with the 8 gig of DDR5X. And my gosh, this thing looks amazing. This thing will power through anything that you be playing at 1080p and 4K, regardless of a G-Sync or not. Even any monitor right now, you can just, be G-Sync compatible. So this it's better than RTX 2070. So this will definitely fly through anything that you're putting on. For the case, I went with the Fantex Eclipse P400 ATX mid tower, and it looks very simplistic, and it looks very nice. I like the shrouds. I like the filters in the bottom. The accessibilities, the cover for the top vents. It looks beautiful, and the acrylic side panel. It's fantastic. You can throw in a few RGB lights in there, and it would be great. For the power supply, I also beat JP the power supply because mine is Seasonic Focus Plus Gold 550 watt, 80 plus gold as compared to his bronze, and it is fully modular, meaning that you can use all the cables or none of the cables if you don't want to plug
I mean, it
anything
is
in.
$11 more though.
It's $11 more, but I forgot to include the operating system, which would add $100,
Yeah,
$120. So no, $100. I'm sorry.
$100.
So it would be 1151, which will still be $40 cheaper than JP's build. So that's two builds, better video card,
That's it.
cheaper, and cheaper.
Yeah, but I mean, okay.
But you do need
But
a good video
I
card
I,
to
I
play
have
games.
the additional storage. Okay.
That you could have gotten something else, but
And
you could have put that extra
okay.
$50.
Okay.
I mean, look, my RTX 2060 Super is $403. Say $400. Okay, your card is $350. That extra $50 on the hard drive, you could have put a Gotti on the RTX Super, but you didn't
You
because
could have. I just feel
you
like
don't.
storage your storage is going to be an issue.
Again,
Games are
if I
very
don't
big.
I think that if you don't play a game for a long time, you delete it from your hard drive and download something else. I don't
But
think that. I mean, I have so many games on my Steam account. I don't download every single one of them on my hard drive.
but with that drive, with just a 500, you can't have GTA, Fortnite, and Forza installed at the same time.
Do you play all of them at the same time?
But
Do
you're
you
not.
play? Do
But
you
who
go home
wants?
every day?
But who wants to re-download a 100 gig game?
But again, you're building a PC on a budget. What do you
A
want
thousand
the
dollars.
most?
We're past budget here. We're mid range.
But I mean,
We're
again,
mid range.
I give
You
you
need
$1,000
space.
bucks, JP. I give you $1,000 bucks. I tell you, build me a computer for $1,000, not a penny more. Okay, you're gonna do whatever it takes to get me that build. So my build is an extra $50 over. I mean, we have a buffer of $100,
Yeah.
but it's still $50 over the budget that I
Okay.
have set.
Okay. Well,
So
again,
for that budget, my games would look better than on your computer. I'm just saying.
beg to-
RTX
I beg to
2060
differ.
Super,
I beg to differ.
RTX 2060. I'm like 2 generations above you,
Okay.
so it's okay.
Well,
All right.
guess what, guys? Leave it
But-
in the comments below. Let us know what you
We should
think.
do like a poll, like vote on this.
Let us know what you think. I think mine's gonna take it, but hey, I mean, I built it, so. So now we go to the final one, guys. We got the
Yes.
1500 mega build. It's one of the most expensive PCs that Best Buy carries. And again, I buy power. I'll give you a rundown. It is the Intel Core i7-8700. They finally bumped it to the 16 gigs of memory that we've been looking for.
Mhm.
It has the RTX 2070 8 gigs. Sorry about that. Has a 1 terabyte SSD. So again, big improvements from the $1,000 system that they offered. Obviously, the video card's better. The hard drive is now a terabyte solid state, not a partial mechanical split with an SSD. You get the 16 gigs of memory in there. It doesn't give us the actual. Let me see what the spec is on the memory. Still 2666. So again, it's base level, nothing crazy there. The Intel 3.2 gigahertz 8th gen i7, and I mean again, it's again 6 cores. It's a solid system for $1,500. But as you know, we're doing this for a reason because we know we can build something better. But Sim, what do you think about this one?
Again, I do like it, and let me see here. I mean, 16 gigs. See, the problem with buying pre-built gaming PCs is the memory sticks. Memory sticks, they're not gonna have huge heat sinks like we do when you buy your own memories.
Oh, it's just a
It-
stick of memory in there. That's
it's just
it.
a stick of memory in there. It's probably gonna heat up at some point, and it's gonna fail on you. You don't know the kind of power supply that they put into this build. So the build can look really good on paper, but if the if it's like the extra components, if they're not good, your stuff might not survive past a year or two. And you're paying $1,500. You're paying top dollar. We don't know what kind of that solid state drive is. We don't know what's the read and write speed on that
Yep.
solid state drive. It could be a really cheap solid state drive and it might fail at some point. So,
Mm-hmm.
there's a reason behind looking at these things. I do like, however, the RTX 2070.
Yeah.
I love the 2070 in there. I don't mind 8700 at all. Again, not everybody's going to be clocking their CPUs, and when you overclock your CPUs, you're running at the idea of kind of shortening their lifespan because you're overclocking them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. To me, it doesn't make a difference. 8700 is one of the best processors that you can use for streaming and playing at the same time with what is it, 8 cores or 6 cores?
Six
I think
cores.
6 cores.
Yep.
It's 6 cores. It's more than enough to handle anything. It's overall, it's a decent build. I just don't know about the components,
You
and I
don't know.
don't care
You don't
about the
know the quality
Wi-Fi.
of them. I mean,
Yeah,
the numbers look great, but
yeah, they do.
what's giving you those numbers? So
Yeah.
we'll take that information with us, and we're gonna head back over to PC Part Picker. So we're gonna take a look at my system here, and we're
Alright.
and we will begin. So I start with the i9 9900K 3.6 8 core, just drool out of your mouth amazingness of a processor. It is the top of the line Intel i9 processor in the K series. Now they do have the Extreme series with both Sim and I have, but for the K series, this 9900 is top of the line. And also, if you look to the right there in that little green, you'll see 479. You're gonna pay for it. So again, we go back down to the Cooler Master Liquid ML240. Plenty of air cooling, liquid cooling for that processor. It'll do just the job to keep it nice and chilly. I jumped down to an Asus Prime Z370 board, LGA 1151 for the socket. 169. It's on the higher end of the motherboards, but the actual capability of the board, the expansion of all the memory and everything other stuff that's built in, the faster buffers, faster bus channels, things like that, that's where it's going to kick in. So I went with 32 gigs of memory, 3200 speed, G-Skill Ripjaw. I used it personally myself back in the day, G-Skill Ripjaw. I loved it. It was great. The latency was pretty much non-existent on it. The timings were always good. So I went with it. $134 gets me 32 gigs of memory. Then we jump down to our hard drive. Again, I went with an M.2 NVMe solid state 500 gig. And I went with a 500 gig solid state to back that up. So 1 terabyte of space, I think, is ideal. You can install whatever you want. You can separate your OS from your games, your applications from your games or OS. However you want to do it, you got the ability to work it out. Video card wise, I went with the 2070 8 GB Strix Gaming overclocked video card. It has a higher megahertz range than the standard 2070s. 429 again. It's a budget video card for a big budget build. Because obviously there's more expensive video cards. There's a lot less expensive video cards, but this is a killer video card. With the case, I didn't go crazy. I just went with again a standard case because it doesn't matter to me. It doesn't need to be flashy like someone else's. As long as it holds the components, it has the proper cooling for what we need. Again, it has the top vent. You can mount that cooler right up there. I went with a 650 watt Gold Plus fully modular power supply. You need it for this. You're going to have a lot of wires running all over the place. And the standard Windows 10 OEM puts you in at 1677 minus the $100. You're looking at 1577, still within that $100 buffer. Sim, come on, man. What do you think?
I'm drooling over your 9900K.
I know.
I think it's an overkill.
Excuse me?
Especially
No.
no. Listen, hear me out. I'm not saying it's a bad processor at all. Far from it. I think it's one of the best processors out there. I just think that you spent too much money on a CPU that you're really not going to utilize all of its potential. You're not going to be running crazy servers
Hashtag future proof. Thank you.
I mean, listen, you did a really good job with this processor. You really can't go wrong with it. The motherboard is fantastic. I love Asus. I've always had Asus. My first motherboard was an Asus Z170.
Mm-hmm.
Love it. The Cooler Master, again, can't go wrong with it. Reputable brand. G Skill, you've had it before. The same Samsung, the 860 and the 970, great hard drives. I think you'll have enough hard drive to house all of your games. RTX 2070, again, if you're spending that kind of money for a desktop, you should have went for a higher tier of card, but you went all in on the CPU, which is fine. But you could have went with the 8700K, saved yourself $150, and then put that money towards a
Well,
video card. But
I
it's
think
okay.
that's 2078 gig Strix will be able to handle whatever you throw at it,
No. No, it will. It with
and it
with
has the
the
9900K to back it up.
and with the ray tracing and everything, you should be fine. And I think it's the same case that you used in the other build, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so.
Uh,
It's a good.
yes,
It's a
yes,
nice
it is.
case. Yeah.
Yes, it is. It's the same exact case. Again, it's fine. It will house everything. Your Thermal Lake, again, it's a good brand. You like RGB, don't you? You just want to put RGB in anything.
I do.
So you got your RGB 650, 80 plus gold certified, fully modular. I think it's a really good deal. The only thing that I've been noticing is the your OS, your OS key. You keep buying the OEM version,
Yeah.
which means that it would be limited to that motherboard and that motherboard only.
Yes.
Not only that, but if anything was to happen, you will not be getting updates or anything like that. You'd be stuck at that particular, like there's no customer support for it, right? Am I right about that part?
I don't
I
think
think
so.
so.
I don't think so. I think you
I
get it's a full version of Windows.
It is a full version. I'm just saying it's only fit for that motherboard. So if anything
Yes,
happens,
it is tied to that system.
it's only tied to that one system, so
Yeah.
you can't upgrade your
I
motherboard.
mean, if
If
you
your
call
motherboard
them and you
died,
can and you talk Swift with your words, you might be able to help them get them to activate it on a new system for you.
hey buddy, let's get a
But
deal done.
but yes, the key is tied to the motherboard now. It's not
Okay.
tied to,
All right.
and that's whether you buy a PC at Best Buy or whatnot. That key is tied to that board. So if you wipe your system clean and you reinstall, you don't, if no components break, if you just wipe your system clean, reinstall Windows, you normally don't have to put the key in anymore. It automatically finds it, it ties it to that component, and you're good to go. But yes, it is tied to that motherboard, so you're limited on
Overall,
that.
I mean, honestly, overall, I think your system is future proof. You don't really need anything more than that. Yeah, I mean, I think you did a really good job on that one. So
Okay.
it's really, I mean, I like it.
All right.
I mean, again, you can't go wrong with it. Maybe upgrade the case, but other than that,
Listen,
really,
if I was handed this system, I would not be angry at all.
oh no, far from it, really,
So
far from it, really.
let's jump down to Sim's $1,500 system, and please give us a give us please. I'm sorry, don't mind my laughter. Please explain yours.
All right, so I decided to go with the Intel i7 8700, and the reason for that is because I will not be overclocking my CPU, so I don't care. You're not missing on cores, you're not missing on clocks, you're not missing on anything. It's the same amount of cores, same everything. It's just the other one you can overclock it. I don't care about that. So
Mhm.
I saved myself a pretty penny. All right, for $310, I'm getting the best processor for gaming aside from the overkill that JP went for.
Two
Again,
cores more. 2 cores more. Sorry. Continue.
we're using the Cooler Master. This is the same CPU processor. I still went for the ASRock Z390 Pro. It's a great motherboard, and it's still cheaper.
Hmm.
So far, my first three components, aside from the CPU cooler, I'm cheaper than what he's got. The G Skill Trident Z Royal, 16 gig, 3200 megahertz of memory. Same thing as JP, but he's got the Ripjaw. I have the G Skill, again, cheaper by solid like $15 here.
Don't forget I have 32 gigs. 32 is my mic working? 32 gigs
Oh,
compared
yeah,
to
32
16
gigs.
for
Okay.
$15 more.
My mistake. My
Just
mistake.
want to make sure we clarify.
I have the Samsung 970 EVO 1 TB M.2
Nice.
NVMe solid state drive, baby.
Good choice.
So that is all I need for my system. It will plug in into your motherboard. The motherboard has another NVMe spot that you can purchase another hard drive and plug it in as well. But for now, 1 TB houses everything, is all I need. No problems with that. And then obviously my video card again for the third computer in a row, the EVGA GE RTX 2080 8 gig black video card, and that will poop all over the 2070
Easy.
that
Easy.
JP
Okay.
got. All right. So I went for the case. Now I like this case actually a lot. It's the Cooler Master Box Light 5 ATX mid tower case. It looks beautiful. I like the IO at the top of the case. What do we got here? We got, I don't know why it's not zooming in, but
Headphone, microphone, couple
yeah,
USBs.
USBs and everything. I like the angle at the front. You can definitely, and you get a little shroud at the bottom. You can hide all of your cables in there. You won't see anything. You can add, a bunch of other fans at the top. Great place for the power supply. Overall, beautiful case. For my power supply, I use the EVGA Supernova G3 750 80 plus gold certified fully modular ATX power supply for $106. That was a good deal. I love EVGA. I've had already 2 power supplies from EVGA, and they do a really, really good job with the power conduction. Either gold or platinum is usually what I go for, but gold for that price point, can't go wrong with that. And I also got the OEM 64-bit Microsoft Windows 10. So minus the $100 or $120, we're down to what, 1450 something. So I'm still below the $1,500 limit that we got and the buffer. So overall, I think I did pretty good with that.
I just want to
What do you
make a
think?
note that he's overpaying so much that they even charged him $20 more for his Windows.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute, why is it 120? I mean, yours is $100.
But
Mine's one,
all right, well,
whatever.
I
What
mean,
do you
okay.
think?
Let me.
I
I mean,
want your
obviously,
thoughts.
obviously, the Intel Core i7 8700, great processor. It's 6 cores. I mean, I have 8 cores, so I'm going to be able to process more in a faster amount of time. That's just normal math, But I'm not bashing that processor at all. It's a great processor. It's one of the top processors that people are putting in their gaming PCs today.
Yep.
So obviously the price point $300. I mean, that's only a couple dollars, $60 more than the Ryzen 7 that we were just talking about in the previous build. So it's cost efficient, it's performance efficient, and it's a great choice. Cooler Master Liquid, obviously we went with it again because we know it's a solid product. ASRock Z390, it's one of their top boards, but the price doesn't reflect it. It's a good price for a solid board. 16 gigs, I went with the 32. Depending on what you're doing, you might not even use the 32. I understand that, but for $15 more, you're getting the same megahertz of 3200, but you're doubling your memory. Why not for 15 bucks? The Evo 1 terabyte. Now, just like he built it this way, this is how we do it in real life because he knows I split my operating system and I split my games onto 2 different drives because if I have to reinstall my operating system, I don't have to reinstall my games. With his situation, even if you partition it, if you want to wipe your computer and start fresh, which you should do every 6 months, 8 months, we'll have a video on it later on, you're losing everything. So you have to re-download all your games. If you have questions about that, please put in the comments. I will love to explain how it works better with 2 separate drives. RTX 2080 8 gig Black Edition. Obviously, he went top of line. You can see it with the price, $619. It's a bad ass, I don't curse a lot, but I'll say ass there, badass video card, and you're going to pay for it. It's the way it is. Cooler Master, nice case. I like the red accents on it. Again, something just to hold all the components that he has here. 750 watt. He needs the 750 because you can see mine was only 650 and it's 30 bucks less, but he needs the 750 because he has that video card. Processor is still, I think, in the 95 watt range, so you're not really sucking up a lot of power there. It's that video card that's going to be doing it, so he needs the extra 100 watts. But other than that, I mean, it's an amazing. Again, I would not be pissed off if someone handed me that PC or my PC. It's a solid build. Just a couple discrepancies with the memory and the single hard drive compared to double, but I think it's a great build.
Well, I think the reason why I went with a single hard drive, now that you pointed out more, is because I don't like clutter. I don't like to have more than one hard drive if I don't need it. So my main idea was to get one hard drive to
Hmm.
put it on my motherboard and to just keep it there and house everything together. And I didn't really see the need to switch out to two.
Yep.
I wanted to have everything in one and just call it a day. I did really want to go out on the card. I mean, I was like,
I
listen, you're
see that.
spending $1,500. You have to get a really nice card. I mean, again, both of our cards. If you're a streamer, you know, both processors are more than enough to handle your streaming needs
Yep.
and recording needs and video edited content needs. I mean, your graphics card alone can handle that even with a subpar processor in your build. So
Well,
for at that price point, you really it's like a Ferrari and a Lamborghini. You
the
can't go wrong.
the price of your video card should be a third of the price of the computer. That's a good way to judge it. If you're building $1,000 computer, you should be expected to put a video card in there around 300 to $350. And if you look at his, he built a $1,600 computer. You do the math; it's going to break it down to around $550, $600 worth of video card in that PC, and that's where he's at. That's a good range or an idea of when you're building a PC. Set aside a third of your budget for the video card, and you will always have a good video system.
And honestly, I was surprised that in my $1,000 build, I went with an AMD, and I never go with AMD. But I was like, you know what? For the value and for the amount of cores,
Yeah, I
you
mean,
can't you can't beat you just can't beat the price. The price is too
two
good to
two
pass.
39 for an 8-core 3.7.
239 for 8 core. You're paying $479 for the same amount of cores. But again, it's about single thread and
Hyper
uh,
threading and everything
hyper
else.
threading.
Yep.
I was just get a little brain fart. But again, these builds are meant to, bring awareness that you don't have to drool over every computer you see in a store. Find out what the specifications are because you might be able to save a couple bucks here and there if you just build it yourself. And we decided to go with Best Buy because it's Best Buy
It's
and
well known.
well known and they have good stuff going on. But again, if you go online and you search and you build your own computer, you might find good deals. First of all, Newegg, or whether it's on Amazon or Newegg or Tiger Direct or whatever, B&H, whatever you get your stuff from, you might be able to get me on a rebate and get stuff for cheaper. And now
Hmm.
is the best time to build a PC
Yeah,
because when
there's
we
never a
when
bad
we
time.
built it, what I started out with what? I started out with the 7700K.
Yeah.
Yeah, you remember that, right?
Yep.
I had a 7700K and I had a 1070. I had the Asus single fan what is it? The external exhaust. It's
1050.
the no, I had the 1070.
Oh,
It was the 8 gig lower clocked. I got it because I liked the way it looked.
I forget. I really forget. We've
Yeah,
gone through
yeah.
so many computer parts. I don't know.
My goodness. But again, this is I think JP, I mean, I really 9900K is just that's a beast. I mean, what is the power on this thing? This thing is what is 95 watts, which is actually pretty darn good.
Yeah,
So
surprising.
your core clock is a 3.6 gigahertz, and then your boost clock is 5 gigs,
Yep.
and you're going to be topping off at 95 watts. I mean, that is fantastic.
Yep.
That's really, really good. And 8 cores, 95 watts, it comes with maximum support of 64 gig. That's not bad at all. I mean, it's a really and hyper threading. It's a really good deal. Um, but yeah, I mean, do your research. Obviously, we're gonna have the link to the lists
Lists
below in the
below.
description box.
Yes.
Feel free to take a look at it. And again, this should serve as maybe a baseline for somebody who's looking into building their own PCs and
I mean,
get into the
we gave you
whole
a bunch of
spiel.
options here. I mean, technically, you got 6 or 9 different builds. If you want to go the buy route, you could just go to Best Buy, pick up PC. You don't have to worry about putting anything together, and you turn on, ready to go. Now you're getting the best stuff or the highest performance. Maybe not, but ease of use and less stress on you. Maybe you haven't built a PC before. Maybe it's too challenging for you, or you don't feel comfortable taking that on. Then yeah, obviously go pick one up and start gaming. If you want to take the opportunity to buy the parts, pick out what you want. PC Part Picker obviously is the place that we go for that. We build our systems. They'll tell you if it's compatible, how much power you're going to need, how many watts are being used. It's a great little website that you can just build these things, just have fun. Build your dream PC. See how much of a budget PC you can build. See if you can get it for a $300 computer. But these are our builds. I cycled through them while Sim was talking, so you get another look. But we will share the links to all the lists. We'll share the links to the Best Buy PCs that we post up also. But I mean, this has been fun, man. This has been great. I love just building the PCs, just looking at them.
I love building them without hurting my wallet.
Yeah, I mean that's you can window shop here all day long.
I can literally just sit here and do a research paper on building PCs.
Yeah.
No, but but that's the thing is that like you try to find a good deal, but also you try to find, honestly, I could have went with another Horizon build.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
easily for a similar, maybe a little cheaper price, and I've had like a 12 core processor. You would have been fine. I mean, you can game all you want, and you can, stream all you want. And actually, their stock coolers are fantastic. They're really, really good. Intel's are like bad.
Yeah. You don't want to use the Intel stock cooler.
Intel's are like made in like Lego store. I mean, that thing will break when you open it out of the box.
You don't want to use it.
Ryzen is like a special care package, like playing Call of Duty, and the helicopter just drops it down from the sky. That thing will fall down and nothing will happen to it. That thing, you can plug it in and just leave it there for years with no problem. But definitely we can. You know what we should do? We should do another video.
Okay.
Doing the same price point, but we should compare Intel and AMD. So we will build one for Intel, one for AMD, same price point.
We should do mega build. We'll do a video sometime in the future.
Why are you teasing me?
We're gonna do a mega build. No budget. Whatever you want to throw in this thing. Again, we'll stick to just the computer itself. Who cares about the operating system at that point? It's gonna be a mega build. We'll get it going, guys. We're gonna post up a video, sometime soon of that. Just a little continuation off of this. But
it's like thinking that you just won the lottery.
Yeah.
When you daydream that you won the lottery.
Listen, I'm seeing $5,000-$6,000 worth of computer specs in my near future. So
I want water cooling running through my house. I want pipes bigger than my plumbing.
Yeah, that's what exactly. So, all right, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully, we were informative for you. Hopefully, you learned something. If you have questions, comments, anything, please put them in the description below. In the comments section below, sorry. Definitely subscribe to the channel, hit that bell so you get notifications of our future videos. I am JP Gaming, also known as Justin.
And I am Simsim. If you like this video, give it a like. If you think my build is better, give it a like. If you don't like JP, give it a huge dislike, and I'll understand why you did that. But in the meantime, make sure you check out the list. We're going to have the link below, like JP said. Feel free to hit that subscribe button if you feel like it. If you don't feel like it, it's fine. I mean, it's your loss, really, at this point. But we will continue to be pumping out videos as much as we can. This video probably be coming out over the weekend. So by the time you see this, it's probably be uploaded then. And so this has been fun, right? I mean,
it's been great. It really has been.
I hope you learned something today.
I did a lot of teaching. Which is why I'm here.
I'm glad that you took notes. All
right,
this
guys.
will continue on even after the video's done. By the way,
yes, it will. Yes, it will. But you guys have a wonderful evening, night, weekend, whatever you're experiencing right now, and we will see you on the next one.